It was right from the start a really excellent advanced trainer. It was pretty powerful. It had some characteristics that were similar to the fighter types that a large number of trainees would of course move on to, but it could bite if students weren't careful, just again like those frontline types. It also shared with them to fly a warbird like a Hurricane, a Spitfire, a Mustang, or a Sea Fury, we have to say, given that we're at Yeovilton. This is one of the aircraft that you would train on. And large numbers of Fleet Air Arm pilots trained on Harvards with units of the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan before the Fleet Air Arm bought its own Harvards from 1943 onwards. The Fleet Air Arm took 236 of these aircraft. They used them not just as advanced trainers but also as squadron or station flight hacks communicating between bases. The last of them were retired in 1955 because Harvards and the AT-6 Texan models carried on with many air forces long after World War II. That included frontline roles. The US Air Force used them as forward air control platforms, helping direct airstrikes during the Korean War. The RAF used them on counterinsurgency operations in Malaya, flying as light strike aircraft against communist gangs. And the French Air Force used them during France's colonial wars in Algeria. Just short of 15,500 T-6s, AT-6s, Harvards, US Navy SNJs and so forth were built in total. Many of them are still flying today. This one dates from 1942, and it's quite unusual. Quite a lot of the Harvards still around in airworthy condition were built in Canada. This one was produced by North American Aviation in Dallas, Texas. It was allocated to the RAF, but it went to the South African Air Force. They kept it until 1969, when the Portuguese Air Force acquired it as a gunnery trainer. 10 years later it came to the UK in civilian hands, and it's been here ever since. And it was recently sold to the Anglian Flight Centre at Earl's Cone in Essex, where it's operated by its offshoot called Anglian Warbirds, which offers flight experiences and type conversions in this aeroplane. And the F-35 and Sea Fury pilots will be there until about 1 o'clock, when the Coquard Marine pilots that we've just seen in action with the Alizé, the Zephyr and the Paris will be taking over. Meanwhile, landing on after a really nice aerobatic display, Nigel Wilson with the North American Harvard.